Stray Gods is an Iron Maiden-inspired project by Bob Katsionis. He just released their second album, Olympus, and it's been a year since their debut album, Storm the Walls. Their sophomore release is out now called Olympus, so let's talk about it. So as soon as you listen to the first song, you can see how the band has stayed true to their established style. The band follows the paths laid down by their iconic role models, probably because the first album received a lot of praise from Maiden fans, and some even claimed it to be an album they had wished the original band had made. The band has Artur Almeida on vocals, and the reason they sound so much like Iron Maiden is because Artur sounds a lot like Bruce. Why don't you sell me a sign? And when you have a singer who sounds a lot like Bruce, you can either do something different or just give people what they want, music that sounds like Iron Maiden. They also have John McReese as a second guitarist, and we all know more guitars are always better, especially with this type of music. And what else can I say? Iron Maiden fans will either enjoy it for what it is, a great tribute band, or they can just kind of write them off as clones and refuse to listen to it. So this band is from Athens, Greece. They formed in 2021. They're new on the scene. They released their first album called Storm the Walls, and that got them noticed due to the Iron Maiden comparisons, and they're currently signed to Rock of Angels Records. So I'm going to introduce the band. Just excuse me if I butcher the pronunciations. So on bass is Gus Makrikostas. He's played with Biff Byford, and he's played live with Saxon, and Thanos Papas is on drums. And he was actually once in a Manowar tribute band, so I thought that was pretty cool. And the aforementioned Bob Katsionis is the guitarist and main songwriter, and he's been in a number of different bands. And Artur Almeida, and his previous band was Attic Demons, and they have the new guitarist John McReese. So let's talk about the songs. So the opening track, Out of Nowhere, this has an acoustic intro, kind of slowly builds up with some fast-paced melody, some pretty cool heavy metal. And at one point they kind of sound like a power metal band, but when the vocals come in, you can tell the singer sounds a lot like Bruce, and they have that classic Iron Maiden gallop, and the song has lots of those twin lead guitar melodies right before the solo. Ghost from the Future has a similar sound than the one before it, everything you would expect. The song uses some layered vocal effects. The guitar riffs sound like they were taken from one of the Iron Maiden albums from the 80s. There's not much more to say. The song was pretty standard and didn't have any surprises. The Other Side of the Mirror is a song more reminiscent of modern Iron Maiden, with the slow building intro with the bass guitar in harmony with the lead guitar, and that builds up to some power chords and some classic heavy metal riffs. The sound is formulaic. I thought it was not too bad. It's also one of the longer songs at over 6 minutes. I guess the sound of this song can be compared to a song from like Iron Maiden's Book of Souls. I guess the chorus reminded me of one of those songs. It wasn't too bad. They did some tempo changes towards the end, so that always makes things interesting. Why don't you sell me a sign? The Sign is one of those songs that doesn't really sound like an Iron Maiden song. The vocals are still very similar to Bruce Dickinson, but the song was more of a progressive rock or hard rock song. It had a bigger sounds of keyboards in the background. The chorus was bigger, and the guitar sound was closer to maybe 80s glam or arena rock. I guess the song was not too bad, but it was different from some of the others. Abel and Cain was one of the shorter songs, which sounds like a power metal song. They do some isolated vocals in the verse section, and there are a few melodic lead guitar parts that reminded me of classic 80s Iron Maiden. The song had a cool bass guitar sound. The song is also what you would expect from this band. A lot of classic heavy metal and melodic guitar riffs. Fortune Favors the Bold starts with some acoustic guitar strumming. This was more of a classic power metal or like folk metal. It starts off like a ballad. And made me think of something like Bruce Dickinson's solo albums, Balls to Picasso, kind of like, it sounded like that, and then it evolves into like an epic heavy metal song with galloping guitars. So the second half of the song sounded like Later Day Maiden, maybe something from like A Matter of Life and Death. It was a big and epic song about war, at least that's what I got from it, and the tempo shift towards the end was pretty cool. So I thought it was a good song. Then Angel of Light is a song with typical melodic lead guitar melodies in the intro, followed by galloping guitars, and has a powerful drum beat. In other words, a song that sounds a lot like a classic Iron Maiden song. They even include the whoa, whoa, whoa in the chorus, and did some stop-start riffs and the marching band drums in the bridge section, so it wasn't that bad. And Olympus is the final track, and the song is 10 minutes long. The song is their equivalent of like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner or Alexander the Great, so it's very big and epic. The intro sounded a little like Pink Floyd mixed with some Middle Eastern guitar riffs. It had a slow building intro. I like the main riff in the song. Kind of reminded me of Gates of Babylon by Rainbow. Had a slight Middle Eastern feel, and the song has a big chorus, choir style backing vocals, and about halfway through the song there's like an atmospheric section with the lead guitars and the slow building rhythm section, and then the last minute and a half of the song is more of the soft and melodic clean guitar, and that kind of sounds like classical guitar that ends the album. So I guess the thing with this album is that when you listen to it, it's hard to imagine that you're listening to a band that's not Iron Maiden. I mean, the singer sounds a lot like Bruce Dickinson, so you could tell that when they write their songs, they are intentionally trying to sound like Iron Maiden. So you could see this in one or two ways. Like I said before, it's like the band is cool, they can be embraced by Maiden fans, or they could just be considered clones or a ripoff of Iron Maiden. So in my opinion, I think it's a fun album to listen to. I don't think it's something that I'm not going to be like listen to it like very often, but it was enjoyable. The production was very raw. There were times like the guitars sometimes sounded too loud or the sound was a little compressed, but those are just like little minor complaints. But otherwise, if you're an Iron Maiden fan, I think it's just enjoyable to listen to. So my score is going to be a 7 out of 10. If you like this, let me know in the comments what you thought, and please like this video. It helps me with the algorithm, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and comment and let me know what you think of the band, and I'll see you in the next one.